Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm going to be comparing two of Breitling's new watches. So on the right here, I have the Breitling Premier. This happens to be the Mulliner limited edition, so it's a limited edition for Bentley. And then on the left here, I have, this is a non-limited edition timepiece. This is their new Premier Duograph. So these watches, the reason I'm comparing them is because they're relatively similar in style, yet they both offer some different kind of pros and cons with them. So starting off with the Premier, this is the Mulliner edition. So this is going to have a different dial. It has a sector dial, and then it's also going to have this plaque that says Bentley on the side with the perlage. Now, the standard Premier is just going to be a Panda or reverse Panda style dial, and it's going to have just standard indexes. It not going to have the numbers. However, they both share the same movement. This uses the B01 movement. It is a 43 millimeter case, which is the same as the Duograph. Very well finished timepiece. You have brushed sides and on both, and then polished tops of the lug. So it's kind of actually reverse Rolex polishing if you're familiar with that. And then it has one. I really like the rectangular pushers. Personally, I much prefer them to pump pushers. I think they look a lot more classy. I think they look a lot cleaner, and they just look higher quality in my opinion than the pump pushers that a lot of chronographs have. You can see the movement through the case back, which is excellent. Here, I'll take the sticker off here so you can see it better. Let it focus. There you go. So you have the beautiful movement behind. It is an automatic winding movement. It is a column wheel chronograph movement, which is also chronometer certified, so it's going to be very accurate, and it's going to function very well. The B01 movement is one of the best chronograph movements on there. It's really a testament of it that Tudor actually uses a version of the B01 movement in their Black Bay chronos. So it is very high quality, very well finished, and just great as far as this price range chronographs go. So when you operate it, the buttons feel very nice. You have a nice crisp click to start it, nice crisp click to stop it, and then a very smooth reset, which is excellent. It's just, since this is a column wheel movement, the chronograph is just so smooth and crisp. It's really, really well done. The strap then is a leather strap. You have this alligator pattern strap, and then you have a push button deployant clasp. You can see you have two buttons there, push them, and then the clasp opens. So now going to this Duograph. So the Duograph is it's based on the Premier as far as its styling goes, but it's very different kind of one under the hood. So the movement this uses is the Breitling B15, and it is actually a rattrapant. So if you're not familiar with a rattrapant, it's a split seconds chronograph mechanism. So you start it in the same way as you would start a standard chronograph with this pusher here. You can stop it as well with that, no problem. But there's actually a button in the crown on this. Now, when I hit this crown, push it in, you'll see there's actually another hand under the chronograph seconds hand, and that stops. So what this allows you to do is track split times. So if, say, someone's running a lap of a track, but they're doing multiple in total, but you want to know how long it takes them to do an individual lap. Once they come around the track, when they cross the line, you hit this button. That stops where they cross the line, so you can record that time, but then it will keep tracking them so you don't lose track of the total time. And then you can reset this by hitting this button again, and the hand whips back and will go underneath the other chronograph second hand, so you won't even notice it's there. So this is a really much more complicated mechanism than a traditional chronograph, and it's usually only reserved for the highest of high horology. Really, Patek Philippe, Lange & Söhne, brands like this are kind of the brands you'd expect to be making rattrapant movements. Especially true rattrapants. IWC came out with a more affordable movement they call the Doppelchrono. Now, it offers a very similar effect, but the movement is designed differently in that it's not the traditional way a rattrapant movement is made. It's a simpler mechanism, which allows it to be a lot cheaper. But this is a true rattrapant utilizing column wheels, and I'll show you the movement now. So it uses, as I said, the Breitling B15 movement. Now this is a manual wind movement. It's made similarly in construction to the B01, and by that I mean the regulating mechanism is going to be very similar, and it's going to offer very similar reliability and accuracy to that movement. But it is manual wind, so you have to wind it. It offers the same power reserve as well. So this is a 70-hour power reserve, which is exactly the same as the B01 in the Premier. And you can see it has a beautiful movement under the hook under there. I love the big sapphire crystal, so you can look at it. It's just something really to behold. Very well done on this timepiece. I also like the dial on this. So it comes in a sunray blue dial, which you cannot get on the standard Premier. And then it comes obviously with the numerals going around. And I think that it just looks very nice. It reminds me almost of the Breitling Transoceans, which was, as you could argue, the precursor to the Premier. Now the Premier was was a watch a long time ago as well in Breitling's lineup. It was around, I believe, in like the 60s, the original one. But just before the modern Premier was released, Breitling had the Transocean in their lineup, which was similar in kind of category to the Premier, and that was a dressier, nice chronograph. Now, this reminds me a bit more of that because it's got the numerals, and then I love the blue dial on this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love the domed sapphire as well. Differences come up with the thickness is really the only difference on this case. They're both the same diameter. This is going to be 15.2 degrees thick versus this one is going to be 13.6, I believe. So slightly thicker, but I think it definitely more than makes up for it with regard to the capability of the movement. Comes on this beautiful brown alligator leather strap, same deployant as the Premier. I just think this watch is absolutely stunning. I really like it a lot. But now let's get into price. So the Premier comes in at $8,650. Now, you would expect from a Rattrapant it would come in a lot more expensive than a standard chrono, as that's generally how it goes. However, the Duograph comes in at $10,250, which is a lot closer in price than I thought it was going to be. Still very expensive and definitely a premium over the standard chronograph, but I think it is an extreme value with regard to this being a Rattrapant. I don't really know this might be the cheapest Rattrapant. Let me know in the comments if there's one that's cheaper. But as far as true Rattrapants go, this is really a very well-priced watch, especially being only a couple $1,000s over the standard Breitling, or even less than that. It's about $1,500 more than the standard Premier, which again is a lot of money. But with regard to what you're getting, it's not that much. So I would really try and spring for the Duograph if you can live with the thickness. I know that might be hard for some people with smaller wrists, but just the capability it offers you. And I'll do a wrist shot on both of these just so you can see how they both wear. So on the wrist, you can see the 43mm size isn't a huge problem. I have about a 7.5-inch wrist. The thickness is quite thick, however. So if you're going to be wearing this with a lot of dress shirts where this might get caught on them, that could be an issue. But if you can live with this, it's not a huge problem. Just comparing that now with the standard Premier. You can see it does wear quite a bit thinner than the Duograph. However, the diameter is basically the same, and it looks about the same on my wrist as well. So take that as you will. That's kind of up to you, I guess, whether you can live with the thickness or not. And obviously the price is quite a bit different, so it does offer a different financial situation depending on which watch you're looking at. Now, I would like to mention these watches are both lent to us by Continental Diamond for the purpose of this review. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in either of these watches or any of the other watches in their collection. Let me know what you guys think of these two in the comments. Which one would you go for? I'd really like to hear from you. So remember to like, subscribe, and share as well. Thank you for watching.